What's up, wrestling fans? It's Joe Cronin alongside Jake DeMarco, and I'm still sick, so you're going to listen to me snotting and pissing all over the microphone. I don't care. You're just going to have to deal with it, I guess. I don't know. Sorry. We got, first of all, I just want to drive through some of this news. First of all, Nikki Bella, first it was like, oh, she's retiring, and now it's like, oh, she's not retiring. But I don't think the original news on Nikki Bella ever was that she was retiring. I mean, it always seemed to me that they were just going to cut down on her work schedule. I mean, that's what they said last week. Now, all of a sudden, there's all these videos about, and these news reports about her not really retiring, but that she's having issues still with her neck.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything concrete either. It's kind of gone back and forth. Most of what I've heard is just speculation. I haven't heard Meltzer or any other insider report anything, definite. The only thing I have heard is that John Cena and Nikki Bella are supposedly going to be facing The Miz and Maurice in a, intergender match at WrestleMania, but that's the most I've heard. Which
is really weird, by the way.
It is. I mean, why do a couples match? The whole thing just... I know they said that reality TV is a huge draw for them, and they're trying to bring in eyes that don't normally watch the product for WrestleMania. So if they can intertwine something with Total Divas and Total Bellas into a storyline that goes into WrestleMania, that it would help them, get those crossover views, because a lot of people do enjoy Total Bellas and Total Divas.
Right. Is Maurice on Total Divas now?
Yes, Maurice, and The Miz is, obviously followed suit since that's her husband, and Nikki obviously has her spinoff with Total Bellas, and she's still on Total Divas, so they're trying to basically make it a reality TV angle.
I had no idea.
When WWE released its Q4 earnings, they showed that 17% of the network and the viewers' growth this year was impacted due to those two television series.
Wow. Okay. That's bizarre.
Yeah, it says right here, WWE attributed 17%, 23% in North America of its growth from the prior year quarter to the impact of certain licensed television series, including Total Bellas and Total Divas.
Wow, okay. So, I didn't even, I had no idea. I can't believe that. So everything is working against them actually writing good stories. They got Goldberg is increasing the company, whatever. I mentioned this earlier. They're all happy about Goldberg. But it's like, yes, everything is doing well. The ratings are going up. But how many people are going to stick around when Goldberg's gone? I don't know if that's a good thing.
Well, that's exactly the thing. Again, at this quarterly interview, it was stated that Goldberg's DVD back in 2014 sold 74,000 units in its first week of release, first month, and that outsold Triple H's DVD, which was then the best-selling at the time. Then Goldberg being added to 2K17 boosted the game sales, and Take-Two Interactive said it had seen increased digital revenue in part because of Goldberg's success with the title. And they also had huge draws, like October 2016 Raw episode attracted 3.13 million viewers, an increase of 372,000. That's the night Goldberg initially returned to the company. So 372,000 additional people watched from just the previous week alone. Like you said, he's a huge draw, so they view that as being best for business. But my biggest issue is what happens when he's no longer there.
Yeah, and you can't deny it. It's a great decision to happen. There's nothing wrong whatsoever with Goldberg being there. My problem is that the writing has gotten terrible on Raw. The booking and writing side of Raw has been garbage for a year, if not more. And so it almost seems like they think, hey, everything we're doing is great. But it's really, no, it's because Goldberg's there. It would be like, I made this sort of analogy earlier that, like, if I had my wrestling show like I do right now, and every week I worry about ratings and subs and gaining fans and listeners, and then all of a sudden, I said, well, I've got to do something to make my show get more exposure and stuff like that, so I'm going to go ahead and have some girl come on here with her big tits. And then I had some girl come on here and just be like, hey, I'm slutty, whatever. And then all of a sudden my channel started to grow in views. Well, it's not because of anything I've done in my format other than, I guess that's part of the format, having a girl with boobs come on. So I guess, do they see that as a success? I mean, but without big boob girl and she goes away, sure, I gained some new listeners, So maybe that's how they feel. Oh, I gained some new listeners, but it still exists that my content prior wasn't getting the job done, and I had to go get some girl with boobs to get them over here. However, if my content had been rolling and doing really well, and then I brought in a girl with boobs, then I would have even more listeners who are committed.
But see, here's the thing to agree with your point here, give you a little more concrete evidence. The segment for Goldberg's showdown with Brock Lesnar from January 23rd of this year, the viewership jumped up immediately by 21,000 viewers. But immediately right after that segment was over, it goes from a 2.29 rating to a 2.16. People don't stay around once Goldberg either A, isn't announced, or B, is no longer on TV. And the problem I have with them using the legend so much is that it's at the expense of the new talent or the younger talent, the people that they should be building up. And, I keep saying it. What do they do when Goldberg's no longer around or when he's not featured? Are they going to have him destroy Kevin Owens in a few weeks? So now you're going to make Kevin get buried and look weak. And, you develop a whole new subset of problems at the expense of having a quick ratings boost. That quick shot in the arm isn't worth it in the long term. Short term, yes, but long term, you're only hurting the company.
If they capitalize on the writing after WrestleMania, then yes, of course that's going to help. But we thought there was going to be a reset and a relaunch after last year's WrestleMania with the splitting of the brands. And there was for SmackDown, there was a relaunching. But now that Raw's ratings are back up to a high level, they're back up to what they were 2 or 3 years ago. at the middle, the low 3. And I apologize, I'm still really sick, so I'm talking and gargling and snotting. So thanks to Jake for being here to cover. I wasn't doing too well with doing shows on my own. So doing them with you has been a lot easier, I'll tell you.
Hey, it works out, and I bring you news too. I mean, you just mentioned the brand split, and Vince McMahon says it's a huge success. It's the exact quote is it's working extremely well. It's working like we thought it would. There is some crossover, which we wanted, but at the same time, we're introducing new viewers. You have fresh young talent from one brand to the next. So in essence, if you haven't seen a Roman Reigns on SmackDown, then when he does, and if and when he does, then that's really a big thing. I don't agree with any of what he said, and it's certainly the numbers, aren't showing that either. They've had less viewers since the brand split. SmackDown, yes, has done better a few times than Raw, but that's not saying much. Right.
And, no, I agree with everything you said there, and that's pretty much what's happening. Now, real quick, I tried to speak and I almost blew out my lungs. But let me tell you something, Jake. First of all, I want to ask everybody, if you have not subscribed, please click the red subscribe button down below. Don't miss out on the daily videos and the daily bullshit that goes on here. I want to tell you guys, if you want to support the show, make sure you hit up patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. That's where to go for that. And if you guys want to get the next Slam Crate, the WWE Slam Crate, it is lootcrate.com/Joe Cronin Show. You go there, you'll be able to get the Slam Crate. Plus, there's WWE offers as well on my site. Hit me up on Twitter at Joe Cronin JCS. And I also want to let everybody know that Beer Goons is up. I don't know if it's up on iTunes yet. iTunes is taking forever to process it, I guess. But it is up on Podbean, which is beergoons.podbean.com, I think. I should have the link in the description and on Twitter. And I know that JD's put his link in there too. So Beer Goons is up on iTunes. It's about 800 downloads right now. At least that's what it was last time I looked. It might be higher now. And it's doing really well. So check out Beer Goons. Something else that's doing really well, Jake, is our video that we did yesterday on Shame on News. I don't plug that channel a lot because it's kind of a sort of a political take on things a little bit. Sort of we're trying to be funny, but I just want to say that me and Jake recorded a 30-minute podcast addressing the Dear White People video, and it unbelievably started going slightly viral, I guess, the other day, which, I mean, normally when I upload on there, it gets between 300 maybe and hopefully 1,000 views sometimes. It's a new channel, over 1,000 subs, and that video that we did is at 12,000 views right now. It's going semi-viral-ish. Not viral, but you know what I mean. It's getting popular, and it's also getting a lot of comments, and we have had over 200 subs because of the video on Shame on News. And today, a minute ago, we put up a new video where we actually called Netflix as kind of a joke, and we asked them, why they hate white people, and it's kind of funny. So that's up on Shame on News. And and it's just
definitely worth a listen. It's quite insightful and pretty funny too at some parts. So
you know, our that title, I call Netflix to ask why they hate white people. It's kind of misleading, just like their title is like dear white people, and it sounds like it's racist. Our thing sounds like we definitely think Netflix is racist, but we actually break down all these different things about what the real situation is. So we kind of mirrored what that show is about by creating our own controversy, I suppose.
Absolutely. We tried to be more analytical and patient, kind of, you know, wade through the mess that they created rather than just come out and attack them outright.
I also want to let everybody know that you can go like the Facebook. I have a Facebook page, too, for the show, and I post a lot on there, and we go live sometimes. Facebook.com/Rage Internet Radio. And let's continue on with some wrestling news here. I had something else. It was, I wanted to let everybody know real quick, Drew Galloway's got new entrance music. He just tweeted out about it. He's going to be debuting this new entrance music. Looks kind of cool. So check out Drew Galloway on Twitter. It sounds all right. Let me know what you think of his new entrance music. I think it's all right. What else?
Joe, one of the things I wanted to touch on really quick was speaking on the new chamber. Sources who have seen the modifications to the actual structure reportedly confirmed that we are in store for a new look on Sunday, but then Brian Alvarez from Wrestling Observer said that the changes made to the structure won't necessarily be all new. So I don't quite understand what the article's saying. It says it's going to be a new look, but won't be all new. It is pretty much what you said. I think it's just going to be a smaller version of the usual chamber, because they go on here to say that the structure the original one weighed 10 tons. It was difficult to hang from the ceiling. It was impossible to transport in and out of the arena. So right. I guarantee it's just going to be, as you said before, you had speculated, a smaller Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, I mean, I had reported, I had sort of reported because I had read it somewhere locally that Stephanie McMahon had commented about not being able to put cages, the Elimination Chamber cage, in all the buildings, especially the new buildings. And then it became an actual story, I think, 6 months later. And then I covered it in like a full video. And yeah, this is more of that. This is just physically and feasibly, they could not put the Elimination Chamber cage. And I believe what it was about, I think 80% of the buildings could not house the Elimination Chamber. And
yeah, most arenas either didn't have the structural support to hang it from the roof of the arena, or they just couldn't get it inside the damn building. And the funny part is, after we had addressed this issue originally on your show, about 6 months after it became a news story, an actual news story, they went ahead and had the special event Elimination Chamber, which was not an actual pay-per-view, but a special event on the network. But since then, we haven't seen or heard from the structure, and that was almost 2 years ago. So it's good to see it return. That's this Sunday. I know soon enough we'll have a preview and prediction video up on your channel as well.
I'm aiming to have the preview and predictions video up today, and that all depends on how. You know how hard it is. It's actually really hard. You'd think that without the job and being at home all day that I'd be able to do this. But what happens is I'm at home and the whole fam is here. So the kids, they come up and they bang on the door, they want to play, and I've been playing, we've been doing stuff all day, and for the last hour and a half, Leah's had to watch them, so I could do this. But yeah, it's hard when you're like, no, I'm actually going to try to work, and it's just, no, the kids want to go all over the house and whatever, and you got
super dad over here.
And some people can say, oh, who cares, but whenever I'm doing a video, if one of my kids are coming and be like, people comment, like, what the hell? It's annoying so it's like you can't do it. So, it's crazy as it is being at home. It's actually like a struggle to find the window of when I can record, and but all I can think is, well, I'm not supposed to be here for 9 hours usually. So, but anyway, we find the time to do it in there somewhere.
Absolutely. One last thing I wanted to get into myself, Joe, is that Bray Wyatt has done some press recently, the past 2 weeks, leading up to the Elimination Chamber match that he's going to be in with, John Cena. And Bray Wyatt has changed his tune, reported by Cage Side Seats, on WWE not knowing how to use the Wyatt family. And he had a quote here that said, "I had these issues with the company, and those issues have been moments that made me a better person. That's the reality of the situation. I am going to headline WrestleMania, and I don't care who knows it or who's afraid of it. That's going to be."
Wait, who said that? Who said this?
Bray Wyatt said this. So originally last year he had said that, his spot was overdue and he hadn't received his time, and that WWE didn't know how to book his character and the Wyatt family properly. But now he's changed his tune entirely, saying that, I learned from the lulls in my, popularity. He also goes ahead and said that them not using him properly wasn't the company's fault, but that it's on him. The quote goes on, "That's on me. I'm not going to sit here and blame the company or anyone else or point the finger. It's on me to step up. I do not want to sit back 20 years from now and say, I wish I had done something. My mind is in the right place. I know what I have to do. This is the era of Wyatt. I know it. Everyone else knows it, and now it's time to deliver." And another article actually reports with that same quote. He said, "It's Power Man. Who in the world doesn't want power?" Referring to him saying that soon enough he'll be WWE champion. So I think this is not only alluding to the fact that he's, saying that the Wyatt family and the character Bray Wyatt is heading into a better place, but that also he will be headlining WrestleMania. He kind of let that slip there. He said, "I don't care who knows it." I don't know if he's talking in future tense in the sense of years to come or this year, but that would go along with the speculation that he'll be facing Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. So
it almost makes me think that because everyone thinks that either Cena would retain or he would win, that, like, something else might happen. What if AJ Styles just wins it back?
That's possible too, and we could see a myriad of things that happen. It all comes down to Sunday, but realistically, I've been a huge supporter of Bray Wyatt for years now. And unfortunately, they never used him properly, I felt. I know he's being a company man now and saying, oh, it's not their fault, but it is. The writing wasn't there. And they just kind of had him regurgitating the same stuff over and over, the same spooky, ominous lines and follow the buzzards. That's what it all led to. I feel like him losing to John Cena at WrestleMania and then The Undertaker, that really hindered him. It was hard to view him as a credible threat. And then they just kind of floundered between brands and shows at that point in time. He became a jobber for a while, essentially, unfortunately. And now is essentially, with Randy Orton in his pocket, the resurgence of Bray Wyatt. And we've also heard that Randy Orton will do anything he can to put Bray over. So hopefully this leads to Bray's, overdue time in the spotlight. I'd like to see him and what he does as champion. I think the run could be something special. So
how about all the injuries going on right now? I mean, we got Darren Young had elbow surgery, and Finn Balor cut his finger. So there's a lot of injuries going on too.
I did hear about Finn Balor's finger. It's the time of the season again. We're on the road to WrestleMania. Hopefully it doesn't turn into what we had last year with everybody and their mother being injured. But it always seems to be now the stars have so many dates, so many house shows. They still have a few pay-per-views before the actual show of shows. So hopefully they find some R&R time and try not to overdo it as much.
Now, WWE just announced that Mojo Rawley versus Kurt Hawkins will be at the Elimination Chamber kickoff pre-show match. So take it or leave it. Will Kurt Hawkins shove that weird-looking staff baton up Mojo Rawley's ass? What do you think?
Kurt's another one. I certainly don't think he envisioned himself being used in such a way when they called him up again. They really haven't done much with him as far as his SmackDown run. He even lost a one-on-one match to Ellsworth at a few different house shows. So
I want to give a shout out.
Like you said, take it or leave it.
I want to give a shout out right now. Whenever I get an alert about someone buying my a T-shirt that I have on Pro Wrestling Tees, I got something new I got to do. First of all, you got to go download Beer Goons. It's available now. But you got to do this. This is for Maddie, Ronald, and Jenny, who purchased my T-shirt from ProWrestlingTees.com under the podcast video section. You bought my T-shirts. Thank you, guys. And every time you do that, I'm going to figure out how to do this in every video I do. And everybody else is going to get annoyed, but I don't care. Watch this. This is because you guys bought my shirts. Boom! Boom! You like that?
That was phenomenal.
That was so stupid. I don't know what just happened. But that was because they bought my T-shirt on ProWrestlingTees.com. I was trying to make sure my dick didn't come out, I was looking.
Would have been little Sean's View spectacular.
Yeah, it would have been by accident, though,
Not for educational purposes.
Yeah. It would. Oh, yeah, it would have been for It would have been some other kind of purpose. I know my camera sucks up here. People are probably like, what the hell?
Strictly pleasure. That's the only purpose.
Oh, that's a great... Strictly pleasure. No, there's going to be 3 words.
Pleasure.
SP... like maybe like F, like for strictly pleasure, or strictly your pleasure. SYP, baby. SYP. It's strictly your pleasure. Go on Twitter. Get everybody in the comment section on Twitter. Write in strictly your pleasure. Go ahead. Pleasure. The fuck one? Pledge.
Pleasure.
Yeah, pledge on patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. Go over there and pledge something. I pledge to JD's cats that if I go to New York, I will not try to fuck your cats, JD. I promise you. Sometimes cats look beautiful. You know, earlier we talked about something like that. You know, bestiality. Some guy went away for like 15 years for humping a dog once. It's like it was just a hump. It's like, I get that it's weird and I wouldn't do it, but actually, you know what? I've humped my dog.
You know, there's some urges you just gotta satisfy.
No, I was just trying to, I thought maybe if I started, he does it to me all the time, so I'm like, well, I'm just going to do it back to you, and maybe you'll get mad at me and you'll go away.
You were trying to show dominance. I get it.
Yeah, so I was like, you know, and so, like, but this guy went to, like, I guess he went to jail for humping a dog, but it's like, I swear to God, I've been to a dog class before, and I'm pretty sure I heard the lady say I was supposed to mount the animal. So at the fucking dog class told me to do it. I don't know. This took a weird turn, but I like it. Jake, are you ready? This is just getting ready for Monetize This tonight. Monetize This episode 98 tonight. I think it's 98.
Right. You're getting everybody pumped.
Getting ready for that weird stuff tonight.
Getting it downtown. Yeah, once you said, strictly for your pleasure, it reminded me, you said, SFP. I used to always say if I was ever going to be a wrestler, I wanted to be Rob Van Dam's, second cousin, STD, Stephen Thomas Dam, so I can go around and yell, STD, but
oh, that's great. And you could carry one of those, like, vaginas they give you in sex ed class. And
there we go.
But you'd have to, like, throw up on it to make it look grosser. So that you could tell it's infected. Like, oh, look, everyone, it's STD. And, like, your finishing maneuver would be, like, when you get the guy on his knees and you come up from behind him and you take the 2 pieces of vagina apart, because it always comes apart like that, and you clang it together across his head. And then the guy passes out.
I give him the syphilis.
Yeah, the stink.
There we go. The stink finger.
The clit stink. I don't know. It's getting really weird, but...
That's right. We're pumping everybody up for Monetize This. Like you said, tonight, going to be out of control.
Do you think Finn Balor shows up before WrestleMania?
Oh, I was going to bring that up before. I've heard nothing. So
it seems like there really is a setback. I mean, it seems like there really something didn't go right, because I swear to God they would have wanted him at Royal Rumble. And all the sources that I spoke to within WWE basically indicated that it was supposed to happen. I mean, I can't 100% say, but from what I gather, it was supposed to happen.
Yeah, I mean, Finn posted a joke, like you had said, his injury setback with his injured finger, but he keeps teasing everybody. But he did this before he debuted for, 6 months?
Right.
Before he debuted on the main roster, posting pictures of him, telling everybody, I'll see you Monday. I'll see you Monday. And he wasn't there for the next 3 months. Forbes just put out an article about AJ Styles and Finn Balor being on the top of the list of WWE's most popular new superstars. I mean, the interest is there. AJ and Finn are both the top Google searches for WWE at this point in time, even topping out John Cena now.
Wow.
I mean, both of their merchandises have gone through the roof, and especially with Finn not even being there currently, and his merchandise still being, a freaking huge draw in itself. It's just incredible. So the fans love him. There's tons of support there.
I love my buddy Justin Credible. Hey, you know what, Jake? I forgot. We're idiots, or at least I'm an idiot. Months ago, I reported. He tweeted it out. I didn't really report anything. I just reported on the report. But, Austin Aries got smashed in the eye. He got screwed up. I forgot. I completely forgot, because he's been on Raw, and I've been saying, like, I don't know why he's here. We don't know why he's here. And I was like, well, I think he's injured. But I think the only thing I've ever said is I think he's injured. I'm a fucking moron. I literally watched the injury happen, then literally made a video about it, and completely forgot that his eye looked like a swollen vagina. And that's
right.
That's what happened. And there's the photo right there. I'm showing everybody. That's what happened.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
I swear to God, most people did. I've been talking to people. It wasn't until the only person who didn't forget is goddamn OKFabe, because OKFabe brought it up once and I kind of didn't hear him. And now in one of his videos yesterday, he did it again. He brought it up and I was like, oh, fuck. It wasn't until I heard Connor that I went, oh my God, I'm an idiot.
Well, credit to OKFabe then for that, because I even said he was doing the interview for the, 5-man battle royale with Neville this past week on Raw. And I'm like, it's odd that they have him not be in the division or, doing anything really at this point in time. But yeah, makes perfect sense. I feel like a fucking moron now.
You're right.
My God.
It's kind of funny. The Elimination Chamber. So we are basically thinking that this thing ain't going to look much different.
No, just probably more toned down. I think they're going to do with it, they're just going to scale it down. Same way they changed the Hell in a Cell to 20 feet to 16 feet. I think they're just going to do the same thing and just make it a little bit smaller. So,
I mean, this thing was massive. This thing it was huge.
Yeah, I mean, that thing was just monumental in size. And they always had problems with it, too. I mean, things were always falling apart. Pods were getting stuck. They wouldn't open. Chains collapsing, so.
What are they going to do? Maybe the, I don't know if maybe this year they're not in the pod. Maybe it's like they got to come down to the ring. You think they'll do that?
I don't know. I think they'll still have the pods, but I think they're just going to decrease the size of it altogether. I think it's just going to be not as high up. And I think the pods themselves will be, essentially more claustrophobic. I think they're just going to shrink everything by, a small scale.
I wonder how different.
But they've been touting how different it's going to be and how it's going to have a new look. So,
right.
I mean, you never know with WWE. They are pretty creative when it comes to ring structures and things of that nature, set design.
Yeah, I mean, it should. I mean, I thought maybe they'd colorize it or something, but I mean, I just don't know how if you can say it's going to be different. And if they scale it down and it doesn't look much different at all, I mean, it would feel like they sort of like, why'd they even say anything then?
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, altered structure. You could say something like that, like the structure will be slightly altered, or
Yeah, but they've specifically used the word new over and over again. So.
Yeah. Well, that tells me that.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I think we covered everything we wanted to talk about here.
Absolutely. Make sure people go check out Shame on News. Like we said, Joe and I went ahead and we called Netflix to ask why they hate white people, and then went ahead and gave our insight. So it's definitely a great watch. You want to check that one out, and make sure to subscribe to Shame on News on YouTube. As Joe said, that's everything, newsworthy and currently trending. We post over there rather than on the Joe Cronin Show wrestling side of things.
And that's it. I hope you guys subscribe down below if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet. And more videos coming. Monetize this tonight. There might be some more videos that I'll be making as well. Thanks, Jake DeMarco. Hit him up on Twitter at CountdownEnded. Hit me up on Twitter at Joe Cronin JCS. And, of course, my Facebook page. Make sure you go like the show's Facebook page, facebook.com/Rage Internet Radio. And if you guys want to support me monthly, the best place would be patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. $1, $2, $5. Some people do 50. Whatever you want to do, there's also perks there. You can get shit. I'm going to go drink some tea. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. And for sure, we'll see you tonight live for Monetize This at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Thanks for watching. And check out these other videos if you haven't already.
Strictly your pleasure.
That'd be a great closing line. The guy just goes, and after the match, I'll be available for all you ladies, strictly for your pleasure. Like it'd be like I don't know. And then and then nobody would. Then they'd punch me in the balls.
That's it. Just a straight shot.